What is going on, guys? Joey Franzo here with Flex Training Systems. How you doing? Huh? How you doing? It is August 1st. I've got so many cool things going on with me personally that I would like to share with you guys, but I'm really close to making it like happen. You know what I mean? I can't say anything yet, but I can't wait to share with you guys just some, lifetime achievements that I've been working on, some crazy life stuff. But today's video, we are going to be talking about everything pretty much as an unexpected Q&A, basically. I had a couple new guys on the team, and I wanted to, ask them if there are any questions they wanted me to address in the video. It ended up turning into a full-blown Q&A. So I'm just going to go through some of the questions I got from Instagram. If I don't get through all of them, I have no problem doing a part 2 to this. But yeah, it should be pretty interesting, entertaining for you guys. I will start off with the team, and I'm just gonna go through each topic, mildly go in depth, and that's it. So, first question, Joseph McGannon, what's up, man? How you doing? You've been with me for a couple years now. He said he has a general question on how to address plateaus in training, stagnating, stuff like that. It's a really complicated question because I have to work with someone individually to really answer that question and solve it for them. But I said a more interesting question or topic could be just understanding that there's varying rates of progress. Varying rates of progress, and you have to temper your expectations and understand that over time, the amount of progress that you make is going to change. Noob gains in the beginning, and then it's going to start to slow down over time, and then eventually you're going to get to a point when you've been training for many, many, many years where you're going to have to dedicate, a certain time period to bringing up one lift, while taking barely any gains on the other ones. But that's way down the road, and that is again going to vary based on people. To add to that question, I think his name is Suhail. I hope I didn't mess it up, man. How you doing, buddy? He said, he was just asking about same thing, expected rate of progress, and how and what are most important variables when it comes to, basically what would dictate your progress: diet, your mindset, recovery, your genetics, etc. And I think all of those things are equally important. Obviously, genetics, recovery, and diet are all they're tied into each other. Genetics you can't really do anything about, so it's almost pointless to talk about it. Your diet, we do have control over that, and that is going to impact your recovery. Obviously, you want to be getting enough protein, having carbs in your system before you train, especially when you are getting ready for big lifts. Recovery, that goes in with diet. And then mindset, that is such a complicated thing. I have a lot of videos on my channel about mindset, and just kind of understanding where you are. I would say generally, stay objective and understand where you are in the big scheme of things. This may take a couple years to understand. The guys that have been working with me for a while, they start to get it. It starts to not impact them as much when they have a bad day in the gym, and you just keep it moving. There is a level of just mental, a mental state where your training can be most effective because you understand everything that's going on, and you're able to just even if it's just trust what your coach is giving you and understand that on the day you're going to be strong, and not really worry about the tough days. That takes time. It takes time to get that. I could do a 3-hour podcast on just that topic alone. Brian Espinoza asks, Tilted or Dusty? He's referring to Fortnite. For those of you guys that don't know, Tilted Towers is probably the most difficult place to get out of alive, and it has the most loot, I would say. It's incredibly packed, and usually really good people go there. I told them that both suck right now. But Tilted's really fun. Dusty is kind of hectic because there's a bunch of trees. But yeah, next question. Simon Chang, thoughts on pause deadlifts for conventional. He mainly sees sumo boys do it. So I think the pause deadlift can be used almost like a pause squat or a tempo squat or a tempo bench, just to kind of teach the lifter to find their positioning, to not be afraid of tension, just to kind of complete the chain. Not everybody needs them, and I think you can actually like lose ground just doing them too much when you should just be pulling from the ground and initiate. Just getting stronger from the point of initiation. Um, I'm not really a fan of like spot training, like working a certain area or a certain specific thing, in terms of like where you stick in the lift instead of just working the entire lift. And if you pull conventional, which is what he's asking about specifically, typically your recovery, there's very few people that I know that can pull recovery from the ground, get the work that they needed to progress, and add in pause deadlifting and all these other things. Sorry, my phone is blowing up, guys. But yeah, so you gotta prioritize with accessories in general, and somebody did actually ask about that, that we might skim over. But accessories in general, they should be there to help complement the competition lift. But if they're taken away from the competition lift because you're doing them too much, that might be okay for a certain amount of time. But we just have to prioritize, obviously, uh, the competition. I'm laughing because this next question, Rachel asks, when is it right? Rachel Orbach, you guys know Rachel. She's probably be the first picture with me in this video. When is it okay to attempt a PR? When is it right to attempt a PR? I'm laughing because Rob Escalante said, "When do you see 1x1 at RPE 6?" That is not when you want to attempt a PR. My answer to her is the right time to PR is when it's time to PR. What does that mean? That means, competition time, when, I have decided in her case in training that, hey, we're going to pull back a little bit from all this work that we're doing. We're going to let that recovery kind of catch up to us. We're going to let your PRs kind of shine through, and then we're going to go right back to the meat grinder. You know what I mean? You don't want to do it all the time. At the same time, if you train with RPE, sometimes it's just going to come naturally. It's just going to come... if you're riding your MRV, it could, show its face. It should come up here and there. There are some issues to doing that because over time, I just feel like you won't be doing enough, and you always need to add more. But that's another video. Luke Graham asks how to train conjugate. You don't. You don't train conjugate. I'm just kidding. If you don't like, all right, I'm not a fan of conjugate in the sense that it, a template of conjugate, because it's very set in stone. But if you take some of the philosophies of conjugate, and apply them to like general training, I think it can be effective. But I just think that there's more efficient, faster ways of making progress and being safer. Back in the day, a lot of those guys that train conjugate were also taking a shit ton of drugs. So no matter what they did, they were going to make progress, and they just attribute it to the training method when it really was something else. But if you like training that way and you really enjoy it and you like all the variety, then go ahead and do it. I'm not going to tell anyone don't do it. I'm just saying if you're one of my people, probably not gonna have you do that. Luke asks again, thoughts on poverty deadlift training and I said, what he's referring to is what we did in his last prep is that we barely had him deadlift, and he pulled 711 very easily. This is for basically if you pull conventional and you're training squats hard, like you're capping out your recovery with squat, right? Like you basically can't do anything else. You wanna just practice the deadlift movement, get some stimulus in here and there. Again, squats and deadlifts, there's interference between them. So you're going to, like, one is going to help bring up the other. Like, at the end of the day, when we're lifting, we're increasing the size of our muscles, right? Squat muscles are very, very, very similar to deadlift muscles. If you pull conventional and you train back, right? Barbell rows, lat pull downs, things like that. All that stuff is going to help bring up your conventional deadlift, so you don't need to do it as much. The conventional deadlift is not it's not nearly as a technical lift, I would say, Sumo is. And it's kind of hard for lifters to just have a suppressed deadlift all training cycle. But I'm actually really proud of what I was able to do with Luke because, we're basically taking an idea that seems suboptimal, not deadlifting, really barely deadlifting, and getting a great result from it. So, good on him for putting in the work, and good on pat myself on the back for making it happen. Now I'm saying, team effort. All right, now next question. Again from Rachel. Thoughts on fake natties in the USAPL? It's a very interesting question. I think there's a lot less like fake natties than people think. The USAPL is testing people like nonstop. People are getting caught nonstop. So I really think that people winning worlds, people winning nationals and stuff, that they're legit. My whole thing is going to be innocent until proven guilty. I can't accuse someone if they haven't if they pass their tests and they beat everyone. What are you gonna do? But yeah, that's my thing, and I don't really care what anybody else are doing. If you're gonna cheat at the end of the day, then you're trash, and you gotta live with that. You gotta live with that reality when you sleep at night. So, Coleman asks, are accessory lifts essential in building strong lifts such as bench, squat, deads? So, in the beginning of your career, you're gonna want more accessories to help put on muscle, to help lift more weight. But over time, and kind of complete the chain over time, you don't need them as much. And really, 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 really strong lifters probably are not going to have the recovery capacity in order to just do like a billion different or accessories. But yeah, accessories, you can add them if you need them, but you just have to prioritize what is most important and make sure that you're not wasting time or sapping your recovery. Next question is not even a question from Jonathan Keiko. He just says 1v1 rust. Shit, man. It's been a long time. Final question from the squad. Rob Escalante, dealing with training and stress from school, knowing when to back off, one to prioritize another, getting proper nutrition during both, etc. This is a very individual, I guess he's asking for advice on it. It's very individual because I know guys, Sean Noriega, for example, who's fucking crazy and will just use all hours of the day towards that. He doesn't need balance, basically. And he just smashes through everything. That's him, and that's a very extreme case. Sean will do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? You need to understand what you can get through and how much stress can you have in your life, right? For example, when I was going to school, I was playing football and I was working. I couldn't do all of them without lacking somewhere. Like if I was in season, I tried to take the least amount of classes possible and work less hours. If I was, in off season or football was out for that duration, I would try to work extra and go ham in school and just kind of, make sure I wasn't running myself into the ground. But yeah, it's a very individual thing. You have to understand, okay, how much suck am I willing to put up with? Without compromising what means more to me in life. And, if, I think of alcohol, right? Because some people, let's say they need to drink to be social or whatever. You need to understand the repercussions of that. And, if training is a priority in your life at the moment and then you're going to drink, what is that going to do to your training? If it's one time, it's not really a big deal. But if you're doing it all the time, I know John before, when we do, I think it was I forget what year, maybe Worlds 2016 or 2015 Nationals, he would tell me yo, I'm not gonna drink at all for, 16, 12 weeks leading up to it. And, that's the kind of shit that you need to do, I feel, if you want to just make sure that prep period is on point. But, once a day, whatever, it's not going to kill you. All right. Again, this Q&A was last minute. And that's it for the questions from the team. I'm gonna switch on over to IG now and answer the rest. So 1 second. Alrighty, so Walker Bradshaw, what sound does the Doc Cotty make? Let me explain. There's an inside joke. A Ducati, you guys know what a Ducati is, right? It's obviously a car. We watch Dr. Disrespect on Twitch. He calls it, he says his car's called the Doc Cotty. What sound does it make? Shit, man, you're going to have to watch this stream. I'm not about to do that right now. Alex Houston, why are you so strong? Been training really long time, dedicated years of my life to learning the keys and finding shit out for myself and applying it to multiple different situations. And I'm decently strong. I don't think I'm the strongest. I don't think I'm super strong. I think for my frame, I'm doing pretty damn good. But yeah, that's that. Augie asks, IPF Worlds 2016, what was going through your mind on Brett's last deadlift? For those of you that don't know, John Haack versus Brett Gibbs. We had gone 9 for 9. We put it all out there. Brett Gibbs was going up. He had his final deadlift. And I remember being in the back room looking at the screen, thinking to myself, looking over to the it was a big ass room, looking over to right where the lifters are about to go out to the platform, and I'm in the back room, like the warm up area. John had completed his meet. I remember him actually being sweaty and being like just completely destroyed. Like he gave it all. He had nothing left. He just seemed tired. He just seemed like almost shook as fuck. And I remember thinking to myself, God damn, man, like he gave it all. He gave it all. We went through some shit that prep, and he had nothing left in the tank. It was our first fucking Worlds. We came all the way out here. We did everything that we could, and he had a perfect day. And if we lose, like, I have to live with that. I'm happy that he gave it everything he could. I did everything I could for his prep. I spent so much time just making sure everything was perfect. And like, if you, at the end of the day, if you say, you know what, I turned over every stone and we lose, I got to live with that decision. I'm going to accept it and I'm going to get better from it. But Brett missed, so we won and everything was hyped. And then the fucking, it was like some Arab news team was there and they came over, they picked John up, they had cameras, they were freaking out, everyone was losing their mind. It was an amazing day. But yeah, I was like, fuck, man, like, I've seen Gibbs pull more than this. He can get this, and he dropped it on grip, and then it was all good. But that was a crazy fucking day, and I was just shocked. It was crazy. It was insane. Probably one of the craziest moments in my life in terms of powerlifting coaching. Rob Escalante asks, are jetpacks meta? Jetpacks are only in a limited time event mode and the playground, so no, they are not meta. Charles Otta, I hope I don't fuck up your last name, man. My man Samurai Jacked on IG says, heels, flats, and knee snaps. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about squatting in heels versus flats. If you squat in heels, obviously you're going to be putting more stress on your knees. I think a lot of people squat in heels when they don't need to. There are few people that absolutely need them. Like, they are truly better with them. Most people squat in heels when they don't need them. They're going too deep. They're losing power. It's almost like heels are for like an accessory and you're using it in your comp lift. It'd be like squatting high bar in a meet when you should be doing low bar. You know what I mean? Most knee issues literally can be fixed by just not squatting in heels or turning your feet out some, so that way the stress is less on the patellar tendon and more on the quad. Your vastus medialis is a massive muscle. Muscles are extremely durable, and you want to put stress where your body can take it versus, an area that's going to get snapped up easily. Flats help you use more hips, help you use less knee. I believe, naturally, flats are just going to be better for most people. My squat went up by 30 pounds immediately, simply by switching over. My advice to anybody listening to this could be just try flats, see how you do, and go from there. All right, next question from Era of Ferrer. I hope I didn't mess that up. How many days a week should you squat heavy? How many do you? How many days a week should you squat heavy? I mean, it's going to be different per person. I would say, maybe not at all if you don't need to. Relatively, I try to get something decent in once a week. For me, I take singles kind of by feel. My entire training for the last couple years has just been by feel. All the PRs, all the progress I've made, I just go with my gut. But I program for 100 fucking people, you know, once a month. Like there's 100 blocks a month. So I'm always in tune with training. I always know, where I need to be or what I need to be doing based on where I am from a competition. Um, for me, it's very instinctual. My whole thing is where I'm at in my career is just not getting hurt. I just need to not get hurt, and I need to, I try to teach my guys, like, look, even though I put something down on paper, if you're going into a session, you're beat to shit, and I'm trying to get you to go heavy that day, don't do it. Tell me, communicate with me, and I'll probably tell you not to do it, and we'll see what's going on. But yeah, it's very individual. I would say for me, I go heavy. Maybe heavy is relative, right? So like 30-ish weeks out of the year, I'll take a single at like a 6. That's not that heavy, but that's heavy for some standards. So, yeah, I hope that answers that. Why do people snap their hips with the sumo deadlift? It's just the nature of the lift, having your hips out like that. I don't think there's anything that humans ever do, ever, where we have our freaking knees like a sumo deadlift is such an unnatural thing. Like humans don't ever do that. So I just don't think we were really made for it. Although some people are gonna be, more designed to pull sumo than others. It's just a lot of stress on the hip flexors. I mean, we're squatting and we're doing sumo. I'm sure if we didn't squat and only did sumo, there'd be, a lot less hip problems. But, it is what it is. It's kind of the nature of the sport. That area just gets kind of screwed up. Even for me, just doing conventional, it happens sometimes. Pasty Gains says, how do you incorporate heavy singles? I use heavy singles to kind of see where I'm at, also to practice the lift. But I also don't have any kind of emotional attachment to how strong I am on any given day. If a PR is there, great. If I have a big single, great. If it's not there, then oh well. I just keep it moving. That's the most important thing. People hear single and they think max out. It doesn't always need to be a max out. You don't always need to kill yourself to do anything like that. So, Pablo's Nation says, when it comes to life work balance, how do you manage? I think you're asking for me specifically. I'll just answer that because I just kind of answered that previously with another question. For me, I'm very lucky. I get to work when I want and train when I want, so I can kind of move things wherever. That's why my sleep schedule is all weird because, sometimes I go to bed at 2, sometimes I go to bed at 4. It really just depends on what needs to get done on what day. So for me, it's pretty balanced. I can kind of, just get work done when I need to get it done. But yeah, man, hope that helps. Interesting one here. Opinions on Mike T's emerging strategy on repeating the same week for a training block. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure the specific context you're referring to, but if it's what I think it is, and I'll just use like a Monday and a Tuesday. On a Monday, you have a 3x8 at 8. On a Tuesday, on a bench press, and then you have like accessories after. On a Tuesday, you have low bar squat 3x5 at 8, and then the next week you're doing literally the exact same thing. The reason why this can work is because we're using RPE, right? I can give 2 people a 3x5 at an 8. Obviously, that's going to be a vastly different, numbers for each of them because they're going to be different levels of strength. RPE in itself, the mechanism behind RPE already is probably the most like individualized load and just training philosophy that exists, right? It is auto-regulated. It is simply by thinking in that manner, and even though it says the same thing on paper, it's going to be very different from week to week. Context is different from week to week. And what do I think about it? I think it can be insanely effective. I think, you want training to set in. You want training to kind of take effect. So, leaving If I want someone to get used to something and I leave the same thing and maybe I'm only changing the RPE or keeping it the same maybe for a couple weeks, the loads are going to be different. They're going to feel different each day. There's so many other factors that go into it. So I think it's great. I think it works. And there's a reason why I say Mike T is one of the OGs. Rocking the RPE before like anybody even knew what powerlifting was. Michael Cataluna says, "Can I get a ho yeah?" You just got it. Bran Baloney. I don't even know. No, it's Bologna because Bologna has a G in it, right? Bologna, right? Is it hard handling two people in direct competition for a coveted goal? I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about Russ and Sean. I'll probably do a video on this later, but no, it's not hard at all. Actually, usually like this is if I just try to be a robot and make sure everybody's as strong as possible and everybody goes 9 for 9, everybody leaves everything on the platform, it's gonna handle itself. Except, right? There's 2 lifters. That's 18 lifts. The 18 lift of the day. Whoever goes last, I'm gonna try to put it all on there and go for the win. That is the only time in a meet when that would be applicable. At the same time, if you leave it all out there, that should handle itself. And as long as they hit a grinder, like if that guy hits a grinder on his 3rd dead and he loses, it is what it is. So, for that specific scenario, I just want everyone to be as strong as they possibly can and leave it all in there, and then like the strongest guy will win. In previous years, it just handles itself. Usually there's a gap between them, and it just kind of gets solved. And yeah, that's it. That's that. KCSM91 says Thanos with the gauntlet minus 1 stone of your choice versus Ultra Instinct Goku. Oh my goodness. Shit, man. I don't even know what the Mind Stone can fully do. If we're going by the comics, like the movie, we have no idea yet what it can fully do. Soul Stone, but I'm gonna have to go with the Gauntlet because in Dragon Ball Super there is a being known as Zeno, and he is essentially a gauntlet. He has the full omnipotence, and he can blink universes out of existence. And if the gauntlet makes Thanos like that, even without a stone, I'm gonna have to say obviously, like no one's fucking with Zeno, so I'm gonna go with the gauntlet. Minus, if I had to drop a stone, I'm gonna just say the Soul Stone because I don't even know what that thing fully does. Timmy Peeler says, "Wanna run squads later?" Sure, man. Just add me on my Epic account. It's under Lord Space Flex FLEXX. I'm down. I'm always down. I'm on PC, so it doesn't matter what platform you on. We could do whatever. Funkmaster_V says, "How much PEDs stop people from taking a step back when they're close to overreaching?" How much PEDs stop people from taking a step back when they're close to overreaching? I don't know what that means. I'm assuming you're saying that because they're taking drugs, they're gonna push past their limit. I would say like basically when you take steroids, you just think of a normal person and what they can handle and how much muscle they can build, and just kind of like multiply it times however much shit they're taking. And I would assume that all the principles are the same. You just have a way higher threshold for work. Your body's gonna just naturally produce more muscle, simply by taking the drugs. So your limit is just gonna be so much higher. And some guys, like if you're running shit, I don't even think you'll ever have to really get. You shouldn't really be overreached when you're taking shit, I think. But again, I don't take shit, so I don't really know shit. If you're a drug master and you wanna enlighten me in the comments, feel free. Final question for this spontaneous Q&A: what are your current goals for powerlifting? Oh man, I'm still trying to decide. I'm either gonna go 105 or 120. At 120, I think, just for the gram. No, I mean it's an arbitrary number, but something near 700. I would love to. So 700 squat, 474 bench, and a 650 deadlift. Right, very easy deadlift. If I could just hit those, that's like 1825. I'm already very content with where I am, and that total would only be like 60 pounds more than what I've done, my best total ever. But I'd be very, very happy with that. Really, just any progress in that weight class, and I'm very content. I play the long game, so I'm not trying to get anything right now. For 105s, if I go 105, just beat my previous best. That's it. And I'm in no rush to do so. I don't really have any crazy goals for that, like when or what. I would say the Arnold coming up 2019 when I get in, because I'm fast with the keyboard. That would be awesome. That would be if I could squat 700 at that Arnold, I'll remember that the rest of my life. But yeah, those are pretty much my goals at 105. Like, again, any progress is good. But yeah, guys, thank you for your time. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I dropped a good amount of keys in this Q&A. I didn't even expect on doing a Q&A. I was just asking for one topic, and then it just turned into a thing. But I really appreciate the responses with like literally 3 hours notice. We got a good amount and some good questions in there. I hope this is somewhat entertaining for you guys. I just want to say really quickly before we go, t-shirts are live, okay? We're restocked on Flex tees, the regular ones. The competition tees, really, really nice competition tees are coming like in the next week or two with, American flag on the back. They got the A7 with the Flex logo, Fusion. Way better material this time. It's really good for competition. If you're a jacked person and you want to feel jacked, these are going to make you feel jacked, especially on meet day. So, Ron Nats Pete's, look out for that. I'll see about getting a code in there to kind of help you guys out, because I would rather have people repping than worrying about, costs and stuff like that. So that keep a lookout for that. In the description, if you want to get a regular tee, those are there too. Also, don't forget, if you guys ever pick up PR Breaker, use code FLEXX10. You're gonna save 10%. I love PR Breaker. It's what I've been using to hit all my big lifts lately. I'm training 6 days a week right now. Training's been on fire, and we're bringing a lot of momentum coming into nationals. I might actually, try to chill out the day before and throw up something big. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for chilling with me. If you made it this far, let me get a hashtag. Let me get a or you know what? Not even that. Just let me know what you thought of the Venom trailer, or let me get a hashtag. Venom hashtag. Tom Hardy's a good Venom. I don't even know something about this movie because I'm really hyped for this movie. This movie looks sick. I think it could be something very memorable. Venom's such an iconic, not even a villain. He's just a goon. He's a fucking goon. But yeah, guys, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.